4th and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Here is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Now, of course, it's one of those things. It's just like, you're just so excited with the possibility of the defense. Now, of course, obviously, some of it, is come crashing down because the injuries. We kind of thought maybe Tyler Nubin might take maybe a nice little step forward this season. It's like not really hearing much from him. The cornerback, Cordell Flott, has done very well this year, but of course, with his concussion, he's out. We spent $100 million on Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo, and you would kind of hope and think, and maybe somewhere along the line during some of the games, oh man, Adebo was all over him, or what a good interception, or Holland came down and threw the ball, and man, what a great tackle, and you think you would hear these guys' name a little bit more than what. And of course, with Dexter Lawrence, well, a lot of it, it doesn't help. Of course, we lost Micah McFadden early in the first week of the season. So something you were really, really excited about. Just Abdul Carter is not gotten the number of sacks per se. However, I do believe he's in the top 10 of pressures in the NFL. That's not too bad for a rookie. I saw somewhere on in the Facebook groups, somebody came up and posted an article, and they mentioned that quite possibly, if at the way it looks right now, if you go back in time and with what the information you have at hand right now, possibly Jackson Dart would be the first player taken in the NFL draft. Possibly Abdul Carter might be the second guy taken. Not that Hunter's not doing horrible, but it seems like Carter might be have the edge on him, especially with the pressures. So there's possibility, right? If you look at it like that, if you're a Giant fan, well, not that we had anything to do with it, but you can kind of pat yourself on the back a little bit. Quite possibly, if there was a redraft, possibly, the first two picks in the draft might be Jackson Dart and Abdul Carter. Giants got them both. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. But it's just this defense, just a damn shame. And I don't think I'm going out on a limb here. Whoever the new defensive coordinator is next season, it'll be interesting to see. Can he get more out of this defense, or is he going to have to start letting some guys go and bringing in his own guys? Or it's going to be interesting to see. Very, very interesting to see. Flott, well, because two of our guys, my bad, I apologize. Dane Belton, the backup safety, it's a contract year for him. Flott, quite possibly, has been the best cornerback we've had, contract year for him. And Micah McFadden, of course, we only saw him play a quarter, 2 quarters, and the season's over with. Contract year for him. So whoever the new defensive coordinator is and is Shane going to be back? Let's wait and see. We got some guys, a few guys on defense we really need to bring back. Obviously, we got Kayvon. We got picked up his 5th-year option. So he's signed for next season. Obviously, we got Abdul Carter. We got him for, I'm going to go out on a limb. We got him for 4 more years. We got Bernsey for a couple more years. We got Dexter for a couple more years. Now, is Dexter ever going to come back to the way he used to be? So we just drafted Alexander. We have a Karake for another season. We got a Debo. We got Holland. We got Phillips. We got Newman. So we got a lot of guys on the contract for at least another year or two or whatever. A few of the guys could be interesting. I mean, like Bellinger, going to bring him back. Are we going to bring him back? Flott, DJ Davidson, Belton, McFadden. So this got some guys, the contract years. None of them are going to be breaking the bank or anything. So the Giants certainly, I believe, would have enough money to, if they wanted to, bring them back. But well, I'll have to wait and see. But this defense is. Why is the New York Giants' hyped defense flopped? This is from The Athletic. Remember when the Giants' offseason was dominated by questions about how good their defense could be? Could it be a top 10 unit? A top 5 unit? Oh, dare we guess, huh? It's hard to believe those questions were being asked just 2 months ago. Yeah, kind of makes you scratch your head. Yeah, we were thinking about that. Yeah. With the Giants ranking 27th in points allowed and 29th in yards allowed midway through the season, the question now seems to be, how much worse can it get? I mean, 276 yards we give up against the Eagles. I mean, Saquon was averaging, what was it? Like, I think 3.4 yards a carry going at 3.3 yards a carry going to that game. Bowen has cost the Giants 3 games. See, you always look, it's always woulda, coulda, shoulda. I like doing that. Kind of makes me, in a small way, feel. But you look at, like, we're 2-6, and you look at, man, we could have won this game. We could have won that game. We could have won it. Flip-flop 2 or 3 wins. I mean, just flip-flop 2 wins. Now we're 4-4. Oh, okay. We're 4-4, actually, when we're in second place in the division now, because they got the Eagles and nobody else has a winning record. Just 2 wins, and that's not stretching it. I mean, the Saints got 1 win. Who did the Saints beat? I forgot. Who did they beat? I don't remember. Saints beat somebody. Saints got 1 win. 1. They suck. Who did they beat? I forgot. We got 5. I think we had. I guess maybe more turnovers in that game than the rest of the season combined. Is that true? I don't remember offhand, but we had 5 straight drives with turnovers. I mean, the Scatterboo fumble, that was at least a 10-point swing right there. We're going in for a field goal because I believe Gano was there, so we actually had a field goal kicker kick field goals. So we're going in possibly for a touchdown, but if we get stopped around the 10-yard line, we kick a field goal. What was it? We lost 26-14. Was that what it was? So you give us 3 points there. But no, Scatterboo fumbles the ball, runs it back 86 yards the other way. That's a 10-point swing. Take 7 points off of them. They got 19. Give us 3 points. Now it's 19-7. A little different ball, And we had 5 turnovers. The Cowboy game. And then, of course, the Bronco game. I mean, it's like that every year. Every year. The Giants were gashed for 276 yards rushing in Philadelphia. Once again, they had one of the worst rushing defenses. And that was one of the specific things was with Bowen coming in. He was supposed to be very good in the red zone, and his rushing defense was really, really supposed to be good. Whereas have no pass rush. I know. Well, the guys has to take advantage of that. Definitely has to take advantage of that. Yeah, I think I'm like, oops, sorry, buddy. I got my dog at my feet. Sorry, pal. I think they have 9 sacks. They got one sack a game. All right. We need to take advantage of that. And that's the one nice thing for the, if you give, I don't want to say any quarterback, but you give most quarterbacks enough time, they'll find somebody. Or if there's nobody open, maybe Jackson can take off, do his thing. But Big Dash, how you feel about tomorrow? Well, it should be a very interesting game. I think both teams will wind up scoring some points. I mean, I just, every time I feel good about this game, it's like, after we wind up losing, it's like, At least we have played pretty well at home, though. We have, a lot of our games are, I think 6 of the final 9 games are at home, I believe it is. We have a lot of home games coming up, which is good. We did lose the one to the Chiefs, but that's when Russell Wilson was there. But against the Chargers, the Eagles, we've played well at home so far. We've played, at least the past couple games, we've played pretty well at home. So I think it should be a good game. Should be a hopefully a competitive game. Hopefully in the fourth quarter, it should be like, one score either way. But just the way our defense is playing, I'm sure the 49ers will probably score some points. But I'm not really scared to death about their defense either. So we should be able to put some points up as well too. Should be a good game. Hopefully it should be an entertaining game. Unlike last week. Well, last week was entertaining, but for all the wrong reasons. I mean, last week, last week, it's very entertaining. Not for us giant in a good way, but there was a lot going on there between the calls and Scatterboo and, a lot of things were going on there. Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got a chance. Once again, he's a good chance to put up some good numbers, put up some good stats. Absolutely. Absolutely. Even a lost season like this, you got to look, you got to try to find the little nuggets out there. Hopefully we got a quarterback for the future. So possibly we had our quarterback for the future, but now he's playing like an MVP with another team. So was it the quarterback or was it the coaching? I mean, we couldn't win with him here, but now he's with the Colts and he's 7-1 with the Colts. Wasn't that the team we beat last year? They gave us our third win. Right? It was the Colts, right? We whooped up on them too, didn't we? But now Daniel Jones is with that Colts team, and they're 7-1. Oh, yeah. Well, Scatterboo, right? But, Dart. Oh, yeah, actually, absolutely. Very, very excited. Coaching. Yeah, coaching. Barkley leaves. He has over 2,000 yards rushing. He never would have done that with the Giants because the Giants' offensive line isn't that good, right? But then you let McKinney go, right? Was he tied for the league in interceptions last season? Yeah. Daniel Jones had like an MVP type caliber season. So the Giants, they got gashed by the Eagles. Once again, they have the worst rushing defense and one of the worst. They're allowing 148.9 yards rushing per game, which ranks 30th. They ranked 27th last season, 29th in 2023, and 27th in 20. So the rushing defense is just absolutely atrocious. And that was one of the things Bowen was supposed to be good at, stopping the run. All the hype about the Giants' pass rush overlooked the fact that there were now no notable reinforcements to address their weak run defense. The defensive tackle spot next to Sexy Dexy continues to be treated like an afterthought by General Manager Joe Shane. 2-year, $9 million contract for a 32-year-old journeyman, Roy Robinson Harris, represented the Giants' biggest investment at the position this offseason. Shane selected Darius Alexander in the 3rd round, which was the first pick in the first 4 rounds on a defensive tackle in Shane's first 4 drafts. Alexander has flashed potential, but he hasn't been the plug-and-play upgrade the Giants were counting on when they selected the 25-year-old. The same top three inside linebackers returned. Bobby Okereke. Micah McFadden was lost to a major foot injury in the opener, which forced Darius Muasau into the starting role, and he's had his issues. The internal excitement over Muasau hasn't been validated by his play, as he's emerged as a weak link in the expanded role. Yes. The biggest disappointment has been a revamped secondary featuring young draft picks and a high-priced free agents. The Giants spent nearly $100 million combined on Adebo and Holland in free agency. The vets have been fine, but they haven't been a difference maker. I mean, once again, I'm not saying that, they got to be difference makers in every game, but man, can you one or two games? I mean, is that too much to ask? I mean, we're paying these guys about like $1 million a game. Is that too much to ask to make a difference every now and then? Something? I mean, it's been quite a few times in some of these games, right, where we just need a stop, an interception, a pass, anything. You're paying Holland like $1 million a game. Adebo, or can somebody come up with something? One time during the season, is that too much to ask? Flott has been a pleasant surprise by emerging with his best play in his fourth season, although he had to rotate with Banks for the first 5 weeks as the team brass stubbornly tried to wedge the 2023 first-round pick onto the field. Banks performed so poorly that he was finally benched in week 6. Slot cornerback Drew Phillips remains a physical presence against the run, but he has been a liability in coverage. Safety Tyler Nubin still looks nothing like the ball hawk he was billed as coming out of college, and his poor angles and missed tackles have sprung many of the long runs the defense has surrendered. Yeah, you get the guy Nubin. He does pretty well last season. You kind of hoping maybe, you start, keep going, right, progressing. Looks like he's kind of starting to go back down. It's the 3 edge rushers who generated the most hype, Burns, Kayvon, and Carter, have played well, but the Giants' 19 sacks only ranks 13th. Burns is tied for the league lead with 10 sacks, while Kayvon is a distant second on a team with 2.5 sacks. Carter's been a disruptive pass rusher, but the rookie only has half a sack in his first 8 games, but he does have a lot of pressures. Sacks can be a misleading stat, but the Giants rank 20th, and the pressure rate paints the picture of a pass rush that isn't dominating as expected. And a lot of it also has to do with something. Maybe, Dexter Lawrence has been double teamed, but he's not making a difference. Giants haven't gotten the same level of production from Sexy Dexy, who launched himself into the discussion as the best interior defensive lineman in the league over the past few seasons. Lawrence instead has found himself at the center of a different conversation this week, with franchise legend Carl Banks declaring that opponents no longer respect the 3-time Pro Bowler. Lawrence, who continues to be double-teamed more than any other player in the league, fired back at Banks. He said that he's delusional. That the Giants faced the 49ers offense that is surprisingly pedestrian, ranking 25th in the league in scoring. Giants defense has shown glimpses of being a top unit. The unit appeared to be turning a corner for a 7-quarter stretch from week 6 to 7 when it held the Eagles and the Broncos to a combined 17 points. Right? The first 4 quarters against the Eagles, they scored 17 points. And then, of course, against the Broncos, actually, if you want to look at it like that, the Eagles scored 17 points in the first half. There's 5 quarters in a row. The Giants pitched donuts. Second half, the Eagles didn't score at all. They moved the ball down the field, and we had 2 very timely turnovers, which were huge. The Cordell Flott interception, and the when Dane Belton punched the ball out. That was huge as well. Huge, right? But the final 2 quarters against the Eagles, and then quarter number 1, quarter number 2, quarter number 3 against the Broncos. 5 straight quarters, we pitched donuts. Of course, we gave up 342 points to the Broncos in the fourth quarter, which cost us the football game, but there was 5 quarters in a row that Giants did very well. And not to mention that, let's not forget about when we played the Chargers. Looked pretty good in that one, too. But the defense abruptly fell off a cliff, allowing an incomprehensible 71 points over the past 5 quarters, covering New York's 33-32 fourth quarter collapse in Denver and a 38-28 blowout loss to the Eagles last week. And let's not forget, the Eagles tried a field goal, which hit the upright. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I get it. I'm glad it hit the upright and it didn't go through. But the Eagles were what, 3, 4, 5 inches away, whatever it was. If the ball was on the other side, it didn't bounce, from getting another field goal. But also, let's not forget, the Broncos had 5 possessions in the fourth quarter. 5. Scored on all of them. 4 touchdowns and a field goal. The Eagles had 9 possessions last week. The 9th possession was they just ran the clock out. So I'm not even going to consider that. But other than that, the Eagles had 8 possessions. So the 5 possessions that the Broncos had in the fourth quarter and the first 8 that the Eagles had, 5 and 8, 13. Out of those 13 possessions, the Giants defense gave up 11 scores. Would have been 12 if the Eagles did not hit the upright on that one field goal try. The Giants in the past 5 quarters have only forced 1 punt. 1 punt. If we could have forced a punt against the Broncos, we win the game. I mean, they had five possessions, forced 1 punt. Not asking for much. Give up 4 scores and force 1. Is that too much to ask? Let them score on 80% of their drives in a quarter. I'm good with that. We'd win. Instead of 2-6, now we're 3-5. But the biggest concern is the Giants prepare for a stretch against some of the league's best offenses. Green Bay, Detroit, New England. Drake May's looking pretty good. Is that Bowen hasn't shown any signs of being able to fix a defense that entered the season with such promise. Nope. And that's one of the things that it's just that really gets you. And it just kind of shows you it's coaching. When things just start going bad, we have no answers. If everything's going hunky dory and we're completing passes and we don't throw we don't throw interceptions and maybe we get an interception here or there and stuff. If everything's going really good, we got a chance of winning. But once things start just going south, we don't have no answers. But is nothing to stem the tide. Nothing. So compounding matters for the defense are the rash of injuries. Debo, the number 1 corner, has a sprained MCL, according to a league source. He missed the Eagles game and hasn't practiced this week. He's not playing. Flott left the Eagles game in the second quarter with a concussion after accidentally getting hit by a Karake. He's out. Flott hasn't participated this week. Depth corner Art Green, who is a core special teamer, left the Eagles game with a hamstring injury. He's on IR now. So a couple of the Giants cornerbacks that played in last week's game, we gave up 38 points, and it could have been worse. But a couple of those cornerbacks that were in the game last week against the Eagles aren't even going to be playing this week. That leaves the Giants extremely shorthanded at corner, with Banks being pressed back into action at the starting role. Corey Black, who signed off the Jets practice squad last week, is in line to be on the other starting corner on the perimeter. So we got Banks and we got Black. How do you feel? You feel all warm and fuzzy about that? About those 2 guys, those 2 cornerbacks? The backup corners should be Bernard-Converse, who was claimed off waivers from the Browns on Tuesday, and Rico Payton, who has been on the injury reserve since being claimed off of waivers from the Saints after cut day. So we got Rico Payton, Bernard-Converse, Corey Black, and Deontay Banks. Wow. Feeling pretty good about that, huh? Might seem like the Giants are catching a break against a 49ers offense that is missing top wide receivers Brandon Ayuk, who's been out for a long time, and Ricky Pearsall with a knee. So that's helpful. However, they do have Kittle, though. But San Francisco is ranked second in passing offense. They have no wide receivers to throw the ball to, and somehow they're still ranked second, and they have a backup quarterback, and they're still ranked second in passing offense. So really keep an eye on Kittle and especially McCaffrey. That's particularly impressive considering starting quarterback Brock Purdy has been limited to 2 games with a toe injury. Purdy has been limited participating in practice all week. Mac Daddy Jones is a step down from Purdy, but he's filled in capably in 6 starts, and it looks like Mac Daddy Jones will once again be playing. Christian McCaffrey is 8th in the NFL with 559 receiving yards. George Kittle is back in the lineup after missing 5 games with a hamstring injury. Wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, who has signed a 1-year, $1.8 million contract week 2, has 28 catches, 429 yards. So the presence of McCaffrey and Kittle is considerably troubling for a Giants defense that is weak up the middle against the run and in coverage. Holland is trending toward a return after missing the Eagles game. Looks like he'll be playing, but he's still got a problem with the knee. So that's not going to help. San Francisco coach Kyle Shanahan is a master at exploiting weaknesses. Yes, he is. So he figures to zero in on Darius Muasau and Tyler Nubin, who are not having phenomenal seasons. And then let's not forget the backup cornerbacks that we have out there as well, too. The 49ers surprisingly rank last in yards per carry, but they should be able to attack the weak perimeter of the Giants' run defense. Now, that's one thing that the Giants have had a hard time. Sometimes set the edge. So the 49, I mean, especially at the wide receiver, they don't really have anybody that really is going to scare you. But the way the Giants defense has been playing, the 49ers probably going to move the ball, score some points. Giants offense should have the same capability too. So hopefully it should be at nothing bad. It should be an entertaining game. Could wind up being, who knows? Could be last team with the ball wins. That's the way it was with the Bronco game, right? They're just walking up and down the field. Giants couldn't stop them. When the Broncos took that one lead, Dart led the team down the field. We got the touchdown. Unfortunately, we left a few too many ticks on the field, on the clock. Would have benefited the Giants. Really would have benefited if if Dart was down when he snuck in the end zone. If he was down and they could have maybe ran some more time off the clock, that would have really benefited the Giants. Because then if they could have gotten in on the next play or so, that would have been a real good possibility they would have won that game. But the thing is, when you got a chance to score a touchdown, you scored a touchdown. So just, once again, one of those things that the luck did not go for the Giants.